Yes, we got some Johnny Somali updates. Finally, I can talk about something else that's not Twitch or the gaming industry. So Johnny Somali just got humiliated in court today by judge, according to Atozi, who I think is there. It looks like he is there.
Johnny Somali trial, because little did we know that he would go on the offense. So he ended up actually suing or pressing charges against another Korean streamer today.
Holy shit.
We just got out of that court, and it was pretty interesting because a lot of things actually happened, and this was kind of a quote-unquote secret trial because it was never publicized anywhere, and the only reason we found out about it is because through the Korean streamers that were actually called to testify. So thankfully, they actually shared the information.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about this, and usually I get told about what's going on in the Johnny Somali world. I found out about this right now through Atozi.
Information with us. So we ended up showing up to court here in beautiful Seoul, Korea.
Yeah, and, let's go.
It was an interesting day.
Dude, I so badly want to go to Korea and Japan and like all these Asian countries, and they would welcome me because I'm actually an awesome person. Well, not according to me, according to a lot of people that I engage with.
So there was a few main things that happened. First, we got to court and we found out that we couldn't actually be inside of the instead of the assembly, inside of the courtroom. We couldn't be inside of the courtroom, and yeah, there was actually a lot of things happened. So we ended up getting the information after court, and now we know what happened. So what happened now was Johnny pressed charges against
That's
Youngman.
Crazy.
Youngman is one of the people who pressed charges against him for the deepfakes. So currently, Johnny is facing 2 counts of deepfake charges.
What the fuck? What could he possibly be pressing charges against somebody else for? It feels like he's just trying to get payback. It's just like he's trying to slap him back.
One is from the Korean streamer by the name of Bong, and the other one is from the Korean streamer by the name of Youngman. So Johnny and his legal team decided to go on the offense against Youngman because Youngman is in quite the pickle, to put it lightly, right now. So Youngman is currently in jail. Is he in jail or is he in prison?
He is in jail. He's
in jail.
No, sorry, he's in prison. He's been convicted.
Okay, so he is in prison. Okay, Youngman is currently in prison. And Johnny decided to press charges against him for 3 different things. The main things were a deepfake as well, because originally Johnny showed the deepfake of them 2 making out, and that's what Johnny is in trouble for in his current case.
Hank and Youngman making out.
It was Hank and Youngman making out. Okay, so Johnny showed Hank and Youngman making out on his stream, and therefore he got charged with distributing the deepfake. Unfortunately, Youngman, he saw that, and he was venting about it on his stream, and he also showed it on his stream. So then in return, Johnny pressed charges back at Youngman.
That wasn't me, that's Atozi.
Today. So it was for the deepfake. Then it was also for assault with a baton, because that was actually that clip where they ran up on him and whacked him. So one of the times Johnny was assaulted, that was Youngman who did it.
Oh shit.
Yes.
Okay. So that was for that, and then obviously the last charge then was for stalking. So he has a deepfake charge, an assault with a baton, and then stalking. That's what Johnny hit on this other Korean stream. Now, so essentially, the reason they played that Uno reverse was they wanted to come to a settlement so that Johnny
this video sucks.
so that Youngman wouldn't drop the charges at Johnny, because Johnny has 2 deepfake charges, which each could be 10 years in jail, 7 years each in jail, but they're capped out at 12.
They're capped at 7. It's capped at 7. So the reason it's high is to allow for multiple charges. Yes, it does add.
Yeah.
So say they convict him for.
So judging by this dude getting charged and convicted, it's really not looking good for Johnny, because he's got way worse charges.
3 years on one deepfake charge.
Yeah.
Then they can only add half of the original one. So say they sentence 3 years for the first one, they would have to then sentence a year and a half for the second one. So that's 4.5 years total. So that's how they come about the calculation. But say there are many crimes and it adds all the way up to 7, it's capped at 7.
Okay. So today in court, we had 3 people who ended up testifying. So first, Johnny ended up testifying. and he lied a lot, apparently.
A lot.
Oh, damn.
So, what did the translators say that he lied about, or what was the main things?
I think the primary one was saying, I don't know, or I don't remember, the things he clearly would have remembered. For example, who brought the baton? Who brought the baton to the fight? You know.
Okay.
Everybody knows that Hank brought the baton. It's obvious. He talks about the baton, he shows the baton on Dream, the baton is in his apartment. Johnny knows that baton very well. And they asked him,
I didn't know about all this. What the fuck? How did I miss it?
who brought the baton? And he said, I don't know.
And Youngman ended up disarming and using the baton?
That's
Is that
right.
what happened?
Hank brought the baton, and Youngman felt, I guess, threatened by the baton, so he took it, and Johnny claims he hit him.
Interesting. Okay. Obviously, this is all alleged. None of this is confirmed at all. Okay. So for Youngman, who's currently in prison, these are some serious charges to be added to his sentence. The reason Youngman is in prison is you had the whole riots here in Korea a few months ago, and essentially it was like, what is it called when they declared it was martial law was declared?
Oh.
And
Okay.
then some rioting happened, and Youngman was one of the streamers who decided to live stream himself, go into court, and throwing bricks and cinder blocks through multiple windows at the courthouse.
Hey, I remember that.
Obviously, not a great idea to do. But he, before that happened, was also involved in, being one of the Korean streamers who were trying to keep track and keep tabs of where Johnny was throughout the city, because they were essentially fed up with him harassing the Koreans for content.
Yeah, Koreans way different than the Korean government. That's like two different entities. Like, yeah, but also don't do that.
So now that's came back to bite him.
Don't be violent against the government. That's like one of the dumbest things that you could do. Obviously, you're gonna get in trouble for that. Well, apparently not in America, but that's the way it's supposed to be.
So that's why he's in jail. That's why he's in prison, and that's why Johnny could then use this as a legal strategy to try to get him to settle. So first Johnny testified, then Hank testified, and we confirmed with the attorney in there that from what we can tell, they were lying. There was a lot of information that was just not accurate from them. And then after Hank finished testifying, it was Bang.tv.
Bang TV.
Bang TV. What were the main things? So there was a few key highlights that what Johnny said and what Hank said.
Johnny said. Another one of the main lies was about the deep fakes. The timeline of when they showed on Dream these deep fakes. Johnny insists since March 27th. March 27th, he met with his lawyer, who asked who showed the deep fake first. He insists for some reason that Bongbong showed it before him and that Youngman showed it before him, which is not true. They both found out about this deep fake from Johnny's stream. Everybody knows the timeline, but he keeps on insisting that. He also keeps on insisting he didn't produce them, like production versus distribution.
Yeah, he's just like all of the other typical liars all around in the streamer space, where you're just like, you say the thing so many times that people start to believe it, but Johnny Somali is not believed by anybody, even other liars and other degenerates. So, like, I don't know what the hell he's trying to accomplish here, unless he's just that brain cooked that he's just making shit up on the fly and he actually doesn't know what's going on ever in any kind of reality. Which is that's probably what's going on.
That's not what he's accused of, right? He's not accused of producing, he's accused of distributing, but he brought that up again today. I didn't make it. As if anybody cares.
And
right?
was it the judge that said, hey, your story doesn't match up? It doesn't make
Yes,
sense?
the timeline, he said the timeline does not make sense with the facts. Because we know when these streams happened. But yeah,
Johnny Somali does not look at the facts. He's going off the top of the dome. I already know because I've watched him for years. Or I haven't watched him. I've watched him vicariously through videos talking about him for years. And that's exactly what he does. And that's what he's still doing. He doesn't he thinks he knows the facts. He thinks he's super, super smart. So he's just got him up in his head, up in the dome, and he's rattling them off without a care in the world.
I think he believes his own lie at this point.
Interesting. Okay, so after...
And it doesn't help that he actually has fans. That blows my mind that he's got fans, but he's actually got fans. And they're probably gassing him up. They're gaslighting him. And they probably believe their own bullshit too. It's an echo chamber of morons telling bullshit to each other.
Okay, so after Johnny testified, then Hank was next up, and then after that it was Bang.TV, or Bang TV. And at the end there, we were able to go in for Bang TV and so on. But essentially what happened with today's trial?
The bottom line was that at the end of Hank's testimony and before Bang TV came in, Hank spoke of his desire to reach a settlement. And he said at first that he wanted money. Hank, as the victim of the deepfakes, supposedly, and as the maybe co-victim of assault and stalking, which he claims, as if Youngman cared about him, he said he wanted like a monetary compensation. Johnny,
of course, because they're out of money. They've wasted all the money on this whole situation.
This situation, all he wants is the deepfake charge from Youngman to be dropped, and they said they'll do anything to. What were his words?
Let's see.
Yeah.
Hank's testimony is here.
He said, I'm willing to put this behind us if both sides will drop the charges. Like, they have three, so Youngman is in a much worse situation, actually. I mean, Johnny's in the situation that he's in, but Youngman is in a situation where he's already convicted, he's already in prison, and he will be a repeat offender if he's convicted of these three charges that are very serious. Now, on the one hand, I would say that, so his wording was, I want to put this behind us, which is something you hear him say a lot. I want to put this behind me. He always says this when he says, I want to put this behind me. Right?
And I also feel like we should note that Youngman sent in 5 letters of apology letters towards the judge because of the deepfake situation. Johnny has not publicly apologized for this yet.
He has not.
Yep, and he keeps making things worse, and he keeps lying, and that dude. I think probably the judge has just about had enough of Johnny Somali. He wants this to be over just as much as everybody else does.
Not even sent one letter. But Youngman showed true reflection. Reflection is that's what they're looking for, not just an apology. This isn't a situation with 2 kids get in a fight and you tell them to apologize and they make a fake apology. They want to hear words of true reflection. And Youngman has done that. He's convinced the court that he's sorry. So the decision in the end was they wrote an ad hoc, just on the spot, they wrote like improvised. I would call it an improvised agreement.
Yeah.
That's temporary until they formalize the agreement. So that agreement has been reached, and there's almost nothing stopping the court from dropping at least one deepfake charge right now.
Okay. So yeah, there's a few things here. So wait, and then also, when talking to the attorney, he also said that he believes that Johnny committed perjury multiple times. And is there a chance that he can be charged for today's court case or for perjury in today's court?
I believe he committed the crime of perjury multiple times with a very specific goal, which is to reach this settlement. That's what he wants.
Yeah.
That's his goal from this. He doesn't want to actually see Youngman convicted. He wants to reach that settlement. So that was perjury. I think it's unlikely to go forward because the conclusion was a settlement, and the court loves when 2 parties settle.
Okay, interesting. So yeah, today was essentially.
Somebody said this Shisa is pre-recorded. No, it's not.
No, this is
live.
This is 100% live. But essentially, and then also I saw a lot of comments were saying, wait, his court hearing is on the 29th. This is a separate trial. So this is because he went out and sued Youngman. So
this is the trial of Youngman as defendant and Johnny and Hank.
Yeah, this is just, an OVA episode. Yeah, this is a filler arc.
Are victims in this case.
So, very, very interesting. Anyway, so today was actually a big victory for Johnny because one of the deepfake charges have been dropped. Now, the next thing is, will the other deepfake charge get dropped? That's currently with Bong Bong. But Bong Bong has not been formally charged with anything as of now, at least.
As far as we know.
So Johnny doesn't actually have that leverage with her.
I think he said something very interesting. They asked him if he sued anybody else, or not, I shouldn't say sued, filed charges against anybody else, criminal charges against anybody else besides Yongman. And he said 1 or 2. I think the wording was very interesting. He said 1 or 2. And then he mentioned Yu Dalgun, the assault case. He mentioned that one, but what did he not mention?
Bong Bong.
And why did he say, I'm reading between the lines here.
Of like 1 or 2, so he's trying to press charges against
Yes.
Bong Bong, most
So
likely.
If it was going ahead against Bong Bong, I think the wording would have been 2. Yu Dalgun.
I hope that I'm not right about all of this. I really hope that I'm not right that Johnny Somali is going to get out of this scot-free and he's going to continue to be able to crash out. But, you know, that'll be content, I guess, for us to go over. But eventually, even if he doesn't go down for this one, he's going to go down for the next one. Because I think it's going to get even worse. I think it's going to get so much worse. Or, God forbid, somebody does something very bad to him because they're tired of him getting out of everything, weaseling out of everything. We'll see, man. I guess we'll be here to talk about it. Donate to the Fables Folly Farm.